But the breaking news this hour, in the last couple of minutes, we have received the squad list for Lee Carsley's final two squads as the England interim head coach. Thomas Tuchel, of course, takes charge on January the 1st. And it's an interesting squad that Lee Carsley has named, including 7 of the players that won him the Under-21 European Championship last summer. I'll give you the squad list, starting with the goalkeepers. Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford and Aaron Ramsdale. The Southampton goalkeeper is back after missing the previous window. Nick Pope drops out. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Levi Colwill, Mark Gahey, Lewis Hall of Newcastle, who's had a good season, and Taylor Harwood-Bellis are in as well. So it's a first call-up for him. Esri Concert, Rico Lewis and Kyle Walker complete the defence. The midfield looks super strong. Jude Bellingham is available, the Real Madrid star. Phil Foden, Conor Gallagher, who's had a good start with Atletico Madrid. Morgan Gibbs-White. Angel Gomez is retained. There's a call-up for Curtis Jones, who has been so good for Liverpool. You can see it on your screen there. He was in the last squad but had to withdraw due to the birth of his first child. Cole Palmer is in the squad despite missing for Chelsea after a knock against Manchester United at the weekend, and Declan Rice completes that midfield despite him missing Arsenal in midweek. Anthony Gordon, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Noni Madueke, Bukayo Saka, Dom Solanke and Ollie Watkins are the forwards groups. But just a couple of lines to pick out from you there after that long list. Lewis Hall, 7 of 10 starts for Newcastle United this season. He gets his nod for the first time. And Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who's had a real introduction to the Premier League, down the bottom with Southampton, who only got their first win at the weekend against Everton. He is included in a full England squad for the first time. The pictures you can see there are the backboard at St George's Park. And there is a smiling Lee Carsley, the interim head coach. He's got 2 more fixtures before he hands over the baton to the incoming Thomas Tuchel. Let's go to St George's Park and join Lee Carsley now.
First round of questions to a maximum of 3 questions per person. If we do have time, we'll certainly come back to you. Tim, do you want to get some there?
Hi, Lee.
You okay?
Can we start with the 2 new faces in the squad, Lewis Hall and Taylor Harwood-Bellis?
Yeah.
Can you talk us through their selections, and does Lewis have the potential to be the long-term solution to the left-back position?
Yeah, well, they're both players that have played a lot of minutes this season. They've showed that they can consistently play in the Premier League at a high level. Players that I both know really well. I think, obviously, the relationship that and longevity that I've known Taylor from obviously Man City and captain of the under-21s, having such a successful summer, you know, getting the promotion and now playing in the Premier League week in, week out. He's a player that really deserves it. Outstanding captain, brilliant example to the rest of the players within the under-21s. Lewis is a player that has took his time to settle in, high quality, left-footed, like you say, you know, a player that deserves to be in, shown they can be really consistent. Looking forward to working with him. I've worked with Lewis a few times now, so you know, there's such competition at right back in terms of the amount of right backs that we've got. We haven't got the same problem or challenges at left back, so it's you know, it's a good challenge for Lewis to see if he can you know, maintain that spot.
It's the first
and we got Curtis as well. Curtis, you know, obviously we brought him in late, but I think it's a brilliant achievement as well for Curtis to come in. So you know, I look at Curtis as a new player in the squad as well.
It's the first time we've spoken to you since Thomas's appointment. In Thomas, have England got the world-class manager that you've talked about for this role? And can you give us an insight into the conversations you've had with him, and has he had any influence on the selection of this squad? Well,
first of all, he hasn't had any influence on the squad selection. You know, I've spoken to him by text, but it's literally congratulations. I think he's highly respectful of the job that not only myself but the staff are doing. So we've been left to it like we always have. You know, I still see this as a massive privilege and the trust that the FA have shown in myself and the rest of the staff. The 3 camps that we've got. This is the final 2 games. You know, we're really looking forward to, you know, a tough game in Greece and the Republic of Ireland at home. So, you know, 2 games that we're looking forward to.
You've faced lots of questions about your future while you've been sat in that seat. Has it whetted your appetite for another crack at this job long term, maybe further down the line in your managerial career?
I think I've really enjoyed it. I mean, it's been challenging. It really has. You know, it's a massive honour, like I say, to have the trust that I've got from my bosses at the FA and the rest of the staff to be given that opportunity. I think we've shown that we're capable of doing it. My priority is making sure that I do a good job every single day rather than looking too far ahead. But no, it'll be a lot. It'd be a great achievement if we could get 2 positive results now and finish on a high.
Hi Lee.
You okay?
You mentioned there about Curtis Jones. He's been in a couple of times the senior squad, but hasn't made his debut yet. What qualities do you think he can bring?
Well, Curtis is an all-round player. Plays in various positions. He's a player that I highly rate. He'd be one of the best players that I've worked with in terms of his ability. I think he's shown a real consistent level of playing every week now. Most weeks, especially at a high level. He's showed that he can score goals, he can assist, and a player that we've had a lot of success working with in the past. So a player that I'm really looking forward to working with.
With Thomas's announcement when he was named as England manager, it was said that he'd signed the contract during the time you were in charge. How much did you know that was going on in the process, and did you know he'd been given the job?
No, my focus has always been on the games. I've been respected in terms of being left to get on with the job. I think people realise how tough the job is without worrying about too much outside influence. But no, I'm really comfortable in the position, in the information. We didn't perform very well in the first game. I took full responsibility for that. We tried something, didn't quite work. Responded really well in the second game, and like I say, I think it's a really good appointment. We spoke about having a coach that's a proven track record. Thomas has definitely got that. A coach that I'm really looking forward to watching work, and hopefully handing over a strong group of players with real potential to go and win a major tournament.
Previously, you've supported Gareth Southgate at major tournaments and been part of the wider staff. Will you work or look to work with Thomas Tuchel and be part of his backroom staff?
No, my role will be back with the under-21s, a role that I've really privileged to do. I think with that though, there's total support for the senior team. The job and the role is quite clear in terms of help produce and develop players to play in the senior team. I think I'm probably in a better position now to do that because I've obviously seen the level that the seniors are operating at. So yeah, that'll be the case.
Henry.
Hi Lee. First,
okay?
Good luck in these 2 games.
Thank you.
As you point out, Thomas is an outstanding coach. We've seen that in his track record. What do English coaches, homegrown coaches, we're here at St George's Park, have got to do to reach that level? Is it a pathway? Is it opportunity at clubs? Yeah,
well, I think I speak a lot about players in our system getting the opportunity. I think we've definitely got players in our pathway that are capable of playing in the senior teams, and I think the same with the coaches. Ultimately, we need opportunity. We need more English British coaches in the Premier League, in the Championship, given that chance to show what they can do. And I think the higher the level that we can coach at, in terms of Premier League, Champions League, getting them kind of experiences, the more beneficial that will be to the game in general. I think but we have to earn that position and that right. And I think with the coaching courses and the experiences that St George's provides, I think we're going in the right direction. But ultimately, coaches need that opportunity.
But you've seen managers in the system who you feel can step up, and were you interested in the job?
Well, I think I tried to make it quite clear from the offset is that I was going to do the 3 camps. I was in a position where I was going to try and win promotion from the Nations League. And that's what I'm currently trying to do. I think it's, first and foremost, to get asked to take over the team for that short term was a real proud moment. And I can feel the trust that I've got from my bosses. So, and it's something that, like I say, I'll take that confidence into the future.
Hi, Lee.
Yeah.
How challenging was that press conference at the end of the last round of fixtures, as far as where you were placed and kind of like what the situation was moving into the final 2 games?
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was I think obviously I was more concerned still about the games and the Greece performance, and then moving on to the Finland game. But yeah, it was quite I didn't really think too much about it. It was more thinking of the performance of the team rather than worrying too much about myself in that kind of situation.
And bearing in mind that you've got 2 more games and the spotlight really on you, what's your big targets then for these 2 games beyond getting 2 wins?
Yeah, nothing's gone beyond that, to be honest. I think it was important. Again, I found a real big challenge of this job is to pick the squad. I mean, there's definitely 4 or 5 players that could, that would be disappointed to be involved in this current squad because they're having good seasons themselves. So that's a big challenge. Now the next challenge will be getting through this round of fixtures from Saturday and Sunday in terms of getting the players that we've named in the squad to be here and to be fully fit. We know that a lot of the squad are carrying injuries and that are maintaining and managing their injuries. So hopefully we get a full set and we can pick the strongest team that we can.
And last one for me, what would it mean to you in your kind of legacy as the interim manager to win this?
Yeah, I don't see this as a legacy, to be honest. I think I'm just trying to do the best job that I can. It's always got to put the players first. It's what's most important for them, and the bigger picture is it helps World Cup qualification if we can get promotion from this league.
Thanks. Come back to Tim for a few more. Sorry, Matt, actually, we'll start at the back then, and then we'll finish a few more from Tim. There's a microphone there. Thank you.
Yes, Lee, you mentioned that it was really challenging to make the squad, and ultimately I'm thinking about Morgan Rogers, who had a really good season so far.
Yeah.
What is he missing for him to be finally included in this squad?
Yeah, he's not missing anything. He's definitely not missing anything. I think Morgan's a player that I'm really aware of, a really important player to the under-21s. I think sometimes and we've had this before with, in terms of the last campaign, that sometimes the competition in front, dictates how quickly you move through the pathway. Morgan's up against some very strong players. I've no doubt that Morgan will get there. But at this time, he's a crucial, important player to the under-21s, leading into obviously we've just qualified now for that tournament that will be in the summer. So hopefully regaining that title, and Morgan will be a big part of that.
Lee, has this experience made you a better manager? And in terms of your pathway now, you return to the under-21s, but would you like a crack at club management at some point?
I think it's definitely made the staff and myself a lot better. I think the experience that we've had, the opportunity that we've had can only help. I think we spoke about comfort zones, and this has been right out of the comfort zone that we're used to in terms of the ability of the players, the magnitude of the games, the scrutiny that goes with the job as well. I think it's definitely something that we're stronger for. I wouldn't say it was a great experience losing against Greece at Wembley, and you definitely doubt yourself after making so many changes and trying something different. But it's definitely not knocked the confidence of not only myself but the rest of the staff that we're doing a good job, we're going in the right direction. Ultimately, we'll get judged on the results and the performances, and hopefully they'll be good in the next window.
And finish at the back there.
Hi, Lee. So you've got 3 uncapped players in the squad, obviously come from the under-21s with yourself. Yeah. How fulfilling is that for you to see these players come up and to be able to hand them their first senior cap? Yeah, I feel it's a really big responsibility. You have to ultimately earn your right to be in this squad. It's a prestigious position. They're great phone calls to make when you call a player into the squad, and what's gone. You almost know the backstory, what's behind what they've gone through in terms of their journey to get to this position. So the fact that I've been able to make them kind of calls has been a real privilege and something that we definitely don't take for granted ultimately now. And I say this at the end of all of the calls, the challenge is now to stay there, because I won't say it's quite easy to get into a squad, but if you're playing well in the Premier League and you're English, you've got a good chance of playing, in the seniors or being around the seniors. It's staying in the squad and competing and getting used to competing with world-class players every day when you're here. That's the biggest challenge. Yeah, that must be such a great part of your job to be able to do that. But for you personally now, there's been a lot of talk about Thomas, but what will you personally take from this experience and take back to them development levels? Well, I think I'll take quite a few things. I think you always, it's only natural to doubt whether you could do it or not, whether you're capable of doing it. There's definitely been moments when
I've been driving the car where it's it's sunk in that I'm England manager and the responsibility that goes with that. And it's not something that I take for granted either. I think you realise as well as the impact that you can have off the pitch in between camps. I've been fortunate enough to visit quite a few people in this period to help as much as I can and raise awareness for different things that we've tried to get involved with. So it's definitely an experience that I've enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, we'll end it there. Thanks for your time this afternoon.
Thanks.
OK, so that is the England interim